I'm not defensive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live stream and welcome to all your latest Chelsea news. And I tell you what, guys, we have had an absolute explosion of news on the transfer front this morning. Big news. Jadon Sancho has left Chelsea. Gone, done, finito. Return to sender. £5 million penalty fee paid. Couldn't reach an agreement. Wages were the main issue. No surprises there. Next up, Chelsea have made an official approach to AC Milan to sign Mike Maignan as a new goalkeeper. A goalkeeper with functioning limbs and a goalkeeper that's not shit. Am I dreaming? Do I need to wake myself up? No, we're not. We're fucking in the mix, people. We could be cooking. Chelsea approach for Mike Maignan. Also, we've made a formal inquiry for Hugo Ekitike, and Chelsea have been quoted £80 million to sign Jared Branthwaite from Everton. Well, Worthers Originals FC can forget getting anywhere near that amount of money. But what a morning it's been. Absolute packed show. So much news to dive into. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one, guys. But before we get into it, just a quick reminder, people. Check out Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Link in the description. 20% off using code BLUEBROTHER for the new Chelsea home kit. Good quality, affordable prices, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want. Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Make sure you're looking fresh in the new Chelsea home shirt. But enough about that, guys. Let's say hello to a few of you. And then we're going to get into it. Bring me Maignan. I agree. Up the Chelsea. Let's hope we get Maignan. I do as well. If Sancho leaves, I pray it's not an indication of progressed Garnacho interests. Brother, I hear you, because we're now going to be looking for two wingers. We're looking for one. It looks like Gittins is going to be one of them. Who the other one's going to be, I've got absolutely no idea, but I hope it's not Garnacho. I really hope. Yeah, it looks like we could be chefing something up. But again, just inquiries and approaches at the moment. Finally, a world-class player. Well, yeah, let's just rein it in, people. But it looks like we could be cooking something. Yeah, Mike Maignan would be serious. Would be serious. Only issue is that he does have a few injury problems. No, we've not signed Maignan. No, we've made an approach. We've made an approach. But anyway, let's start with the main news then. The first news, and that is that Jadon Sancho has left Chelsea Football Club. Gone, done, finito. Return to sender. We stuck that returns label on him. We've taken him down the post office and we've posted him back up north to Manchester United. Ornstein with the bomber. Jadon Sancho leaving Chelsea when his contract ends on June 30th. I mean, I doubt he's going to go to the Club World Cup. He's not going to go to the Club World Cup for 2 weeks, is he? After agreement could not be reached on personal terms for loan to turn permanent. Chelsea will pay the £5 million penalty fee, and Sancho will explore other options in England/Europe for his next move. Now, do you know what? I actually think this is a big shame, really, to be honest. I liked what we saw from Sancho. He got 15 GNA. Yes, maybe you need to minus the Conference League GNA out of that. Yeah, he slapped one top bins in the final. But ultimately, did we really see enough from him in the Premier League? And we probably didn't. I think he scored 3 goals and he got 5 assists or something like that. Over the course of a season, is 3 goals and 5 assists really cutting it at Chelsea level? Even if it's 25 million quid for a squad rotation option, I think the ability's there. But clearly, he didn't want to fit in with the wage structure, and that's up to him. You know, that is up to him at the end of the day. You know, if he thinks he can get that money elsewhere, good luck to him. I wish him all the best. But it really doesn't come as a surprise. You know, what I was most surprised about, though, guys, is that why weren't terms agreed when he initially joined on loan? Surely on a loan deal with an obligation, once the obligations become active, you don't then start negotiating. Surely the deal's in place and then that obligation gets activated and bang, you're there. I mean, I wonder why Sancho wouldn't fit into the wage structure at Chelsea. I wonder why. You know, did he really think that he was good enough to warrant being paid the same money that he's on right now? Did he really think he'd done well enough to warrant getting anywhere near, say, even 200 grand a week? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, guys. Like, I don't know why he thought, well, I don't know why he thinks he could get that money at Chelsea. You know, he didn't perform anywhere near to a good enough standard. And the reality of the situation is, chat, is that maybe he has put money before his career. Or maybe he just didn't want to be at Chelsea. Maybe he wants to go back to Borussia Dortmund. Maybe he'll make a move to Serie A, exploring other options in England. But one thing I can tell him for sure is that he is not getting that money that he wants anywhere in England. And I don't think anyone in Europe is paying him that money either. So it's a shame. I am a little bit disappointed that he's gone, because I think Jadon Sancho is a good squad player to have. And it means we've got to go into the market for another winger now. We were always going for one, and it's most likely going to be Gittins. But now with Sancho leaving, it looks like we've got to go for a second one. Unless they are going to be, unless Gittins comes in and Esteval is the one to replace Jadon Sancho, there is that possibility as well. I mean, guys, chat, let me know who's disappointed that Jadon Sancho's going and who doesn't really care. Because I'll be interested to see what people's thoughts are on it, because I've kind of ummed and ahed about it. There was a point where I was like, definitely send him back. Then he picked his form up towards the end of the season. And I thought, you know what? I've maybe seen enough from him to warrant 25 mil, fitting in the wage structure, and a third or fourth choice winger, for the squad next season. However, we're going into the Champions League. Sancho has had Champions League experience, would have been a useful option in the Champions League. Yes, Gittins has got Champions League experience as well. I mean, it leaves us in a tricky position in the wide areas, because Sancho is gone, okay? So that leaves us with Neto, Esteval, Tyreek George, and Madueke. That leaves us with those four, okay? Add 5 if you put Gittins in there. Neto, Esteval, Gittins, Madueke, and Esteval, Gittins, Madueke, Neto. Yeah, that and Tyreek George is a 5th. That's not really looking that great, is it? That's not looking that great. I would have been happy to keep him. But ultimately, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Who said Tyreek George was better than Desiree Doué? That's mental. Has someone said that? Yeah, I absolutely agree with you, bro. The problem is, do we really think that we're going to upgrade on Jadon Sancho? Now, I know that might sound quite simple and quite straightforward, guys, but do we honestly think we're going to upgrade on Jadon Sancho? Because Jamie Gittins is not an upgrade on Jadon Sancho. And is anyone else we go for going to be an upgrade on Jadon Sancho? I would agree with this. However, going into the Champions League, I would want someone with more experience than Tyreek George. We shouldn't be giving Tyreek George sort of development minutes in the Champions League when the games are going to be really tough. It's certainly looking that way. As long as we don't sign Garnacho, I'm happy we didn't sign Sancho. Bro, it could be a Sancho swap for Garnacho. Return to sender, and then he comes the other way. Get Gittins as a backup and a proper. The problem is there's no needle moving left wingers. Leao is not it. Way too inconsistent. Nico Williams, I just don't see it happening. And Rodrigo, I don't think is available. However, I do agree with you, bro, that we need to be at least trying. Give these guys a decision to make. If it's not possible, it's not possible. But we should absolutely be going for it. We should absolutely be going for it. And at least trying. We should at least be trying. Bro, this is such an unintelligent comment. Because you talk about PSG kids, right? Okay, so explain this to me. Marquinhos, Achraf Hakimi, Donnarumma, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, Ousmane Dembele. Kids, yeah? Kids. Good one. Good one. Bro, we don't want to be signing... We need specialists. We don't want to be signing players. Oh, he could play off the left. He could do this. He could do that. That is not what we want to be doing here, guys. That's not what we want to be doing here. We need a needle mover on the left wing. Oh, yeah, and Kvaratskhelia as well, of course, yeah. Thing is, though, Morgan Rogers, though, is more of a 10. Now, you could play Morgan Rogers on the left, or you could shift Cole Palmer to the right and play Rogers as a 10. I I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. But it's no surprise that Jadon Sancho is leaving Chelsea. I expected that this decision was coming. I was surprised. I was a little bit surprised to hear it, though. And as Romano said here, main issue for Jadon Sancho was salary, as Chelsea didn't want to match his current salary at United. After negotiations, deal off, and Sancho back to United from the end of June. I mean, I just don't get why he didn't want to stay here. I just don't get why he didn't want to stay here. I think it would have been a good move for him. I don't see him getting a top club. I really don't see him getting a top club, Jadon Sancho. And he's not going to get the money. He's not going to get the money he's on at Man United anywhere. Absolutely nowhere. If he goes back to the Bundesliga, fair play to him. Good luck. Sean, respectfully, absolutely not. Joao Felix, it shouldn't be anywhere near Chelsea next season. Should be nowhere near the Chelsea squad. And look, ultimately, ultimately, it's his career and it's his choice. So, absolutely not. And look, I've got, by the way, guys, I've got no issue with players who want to go and get the most money they possibly can. No problem whatsoever. However, what I would question is if you have to go to a lesser club in order to get that money. I just think in certain situations, beggars can't be choosers. And right now, Jadon Sancho's got his little begging bowl out for any top club to potentially come and get him. And he is going to have to take a reduction in wages. And look, it makes no difference to me. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. Jadon, go get your money. Go and do your thing if you can get it. But ultimately, like what I saw from Jadon Sancho was none of the attitude issues that were spoken about at United. He worked hard. He got his head down. He didn't complain. And he has made a contribution this season. Maybe not a significant contribution, but he did contribute to the cause this season. And he did okay. Ultimately, though, you probably are going to want more. But if you're talking squad player, what winger are you going to sign for £25 million that's going to give you more or the same as what Jadon Sancho gave you? That's my thing there. I mean, guys, chat, let me know who in the market is going to give you. Let's just say even for 30 or 35 mil, who's going to give you what Jadon Sancho gives you for that price? Because I'm not sensing that there's going to be many. Bro, Mason Greenwood, absolutely not. Because A, he's not going to be that price, and B, Greenwood, I don't think will play in England again because of what he's done. And you can't have your football club associated with that. It's as simple as that. But anyway, what did this Ornstein article say? Jadon Sancho leaving Chelsea when his contract expires, couldn't agree personal terms. So we've got to pay a £5 million penalty fee, as we know. Sancho apparently has options in England and elsewhere around Europe, which he's expected to explore. Despite the situation, Sancho remains popular at Stamford Bridge. Sancho scored 5 goals and 10 assists in 42 games. Yeah, I mean, it's not... I just don't think he's done particularly well, but I probably still would have kept him. He just fell short of establishing himself. That's the reality. Semenyo at Bournemouth. Yeah, again though, Bournemouth reportedly want about £70 million for Semenyo, which is absolutely nonsense. They're not going to get that money for Semenyo. Semenyo is about a £50 million player. £50 million player. I mean, the winger market is not good. I don't know if I agree that Sancho was never a good fit for Chelsea, guys. By the way, people, 242 in the building, only 60 likes. Come on, guys. Run these likes up. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. Kenan Yildiz, I'm not sure. Kenan Yildiz, I'm not sure, guys. Not sure if that makes entire sense to me. And by the way, we're 25 subs away from 16.5K. There must be some new subscribers in it. So smash that subscribe button and keep running the likes up, chat, as well. Let me know when we're on 100. Look, I wouldn't have an issue of Lookman. Bro, you joke about that, right? That wouldn't be, and like, hear me out, guys. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'm not saying that I'd be like, oh my God, bring Hudson-Odoi back. But if Chelsea signed Hudson-Odoi, I don't think that would be an absolute disaster. Would that be an absolute disaster? I'm really not sure. I don't know if it would be. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It's not like my first choice or anything. But if Hudson-Odoi was like a squad option or a rotation option, would it be terrible? I don't know. I don't know if it would be. No, but I think Lookman's good. Lookman can play that role, and he's a goal scorer as well. What we desperately need, is goals from the wide areas. We need goals from the wide areas. We need goal scorers in the wing in the winger positions. And right now, we don't really have any goal scoring threat from out wide because Sancho's gone now, but he didn't score goals. Neto doesn't really score goals. Noni was our top scorer from the wide areas, but even he didn't really score that many goals. Tyreek George, young, not a goal scorer. Mudryk, obviously out the picture, but wasn't a huge goal scorer. But I just look at it and you just think, look, Kenan Yildiz is an exciting talent. I absolutely agree on that. But if Gittins is coming in, it makes absolutely no sense in my mind, guys, to have Gittins and Yildiz. Why would you sign Gittins and Yildiz? Surely you do one or the other, and then you'd go for a more experienced option, no? Would that not make the first sense? Would that not make the most sense? Sorry, surely it would. Surely that would make more sense, guys. I mean, the problem with Hudson-Odoi was that Chelsea was that Achilles injury ruined him. But he was playing some serious stuff for us. And look, I think he could do a job in the squad and he wouldn't cost you an absolute fortune. But I fully understand why people might not be on board with it. I fully get that. I fully get that. Absolutely understand it. But again, we need a goal scorer. We need a goal scorer. And they're difficult to find. Difficult to find. Bro, I get it. Leao is not, for me, Leao's not it. Way too inconsistent. And for the age that he is, I don't really see Leao getting that much better. Too inconsistent for me. I mean, look, Gittins as a squad player is not diabolical. If you can get it for £40 million, it's okay. It's okay. If you can get Gittins for 40 million, I'd take it. I'd take it. Again, Mitoma's another player, but again, I don't see Chelsea going for him. If we don't get goals from the wing, then we need Gyökeres or Osimhen. Yeah, I agree with you. We need goals from the wide areas. We're desperate for goals from the wide areas. Eze would be the best option here. Yeah, Eze, again, I like him, but again, he's more central, but he can play off that left-hand side. Look, an Eze or a Morgan Rogers, guys, maybe that makes the most sense here. Maybe that makes the most sense. Bro, Lookman's a better goal scorer than any of the wingers that we've got right now. He is a genuine goal scoring winger. And he certainly scores more goals than any of ours. Right move. Look, for me, I don't think we didn't see any of the attitude issues with Jadon Sancho at Chelsea. I certainly didn't get that. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's him and his camp, and they didn't get the money that they wanted. If they think they can get the money elsewhere, fair play to them. Or maybe Sancho just didn't want to stay at Chelsea. Maybe he just didn't want to stay at Chelsea. No, I'm not saying there is. I was literally just giving an opinion. Yes, but he's more plays on the right-hand side, so we don't necessarily need that side, but I mean, Noah Lang is a good player, but yeah, look, it's tough. It's tough. The winger market is not good. The winger market's not good. It really isn't. Yeah, bro. Look, if Grealish is given an environment that suits him and plays in a system that suits him, then that would be a phenomenal signing. It would be a phenomenal signing if you can give Grealish that freedom. But again, Grealish, the wages are huge, absolutely huge, and he's another one that would have to take a pay cut to move elsewhere. But again, that sort of player with that freedom. No, bro, I don't think the money issue is made up. I don't think it is. You know, I think it's very obvious here that Sancho wasn't prepared. Sancho probably was prepared to take a pay cut, but obviously not a big enough pay cut to fit in line with it. In line. So it is what it is. We move on, but it does mean that we're probably going to have to sign 2 wingers now. We're probably going to have to sign 2 wingers now. But yeah, that is the latest on Jadon Sancho. Return to sender. In the back of the DPD van, on his way back to Old Trafford. A shame, really. I think he could have been useful for us, but it is what it is. Back to Old Trafford, and wish him all the best. But yeah, you know, he's decided to put money before his career, and good luck to him. I thank him for his contributions, but we move, and we do move. We do move, chat. Because I mean, I just got to pinch myself a little bit, because we actually are. Chelsea are targeting a serious goalkeeper, a goalkeeper with working limbs, a goalkeeper that can actually save the ball, and a goalkeeper who isn't shit. This is unbelievable news, guys. Unbelievable news. But Chelsea have approached AC Milan to sign Mike Maignan as new goalkeeper. Fabrizio Romano with the exclusive. Mike Maignan has still not signed a new contract with AC Milan, and Chelsea are now aware of the situation. He's always been high on the list, with clubs in talks. Decision is up to Milan. Now, this is a top quality goalkeeper. Admittedly, the last 2 seasons haven't been the best. There's no denying that. The last 2 seasons have not been the best, but this is a top quality goalkeeper, a top quality operator, 29 years of age, great age for a keeper, and keepers hit their prime later on. You bring in Mike Maignan at 29, even if you bring him in on a 5-year deal, 30, 31, 32, 33, that takes him up to 33, 34. You could bring Maignan in on a 5-year deal and you get 4 or 5 great seasons out of him. This is a needle-moving signing. This is a needle-moving signing, is Mike Maignan. Absolutely a needle-moving signing. And that would probably mean the end of Robert Sanchez, which is absolutely fantastic. I also think that it probably means we're going to cash in on Petrovic. Even if we went Maignan and Petrovic as the 2, I don't think Petrovic, having been a number 1 for a season, I don't think Petrovic is going to want to be a number 2. I don't think Petrovic will want to be a number 2. Petrovic is not going to want to be a number 2. I expect we'll cash in on Petrovic because his stocks are high right now. We could absolutely make a profit on him. There's no doubt about it. I don't know what the transfer fee would be like for Maignan. But you bring in Maignan, it also gives us enough time to help develop Penders. Whether Penders stays in Belgium for another year, and then we send him to Strasbourg for the 26-27 season, and we move from there. But Maignan is number 1 with Jorgensen as a 2. Send Penders to Strasbourg maybe, and then you have Jorgensen as the 2. Sell Petrovic, sell Sanchez. And you keep Jorgensen as number 2. Bro, Gregor Kobel, I don't think there's going to be anything there. Penders, I don't think, is ready for number 2. Penders should be having another season on loan somewhere. Whether he remains in Belgium for another year, I think the next step up for Penders, should be a move to Strasbourg. It'll be Conference League football as well. And so I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense. And it would be really, really great. Really great. But there's no indication, though. There's no indication of what the price would be. But Milan need to sell one of their top players because they've got no Champions League football, financial issues. And this would be a significant upgrade on anything that we've got. Significant upgrade on anything that we've got. I'm pretty sure, by the way, Maignan's not agreed a new contract with Milan either. I'm pretty certain that he's out of contract either in... I think he's got a year left on his contract or maybe 2 years left on his contract, guys. No, he's got a year left on his deal. There's a year left on his deal. Contract expires June 26. So he's got 1 year left on his contract. There should be there's a very decent deal to be done there. Very decent deal to be done there. I think you could get him for 30-35 million pounds, which for a goalkeeper of his quality is, I mean, that would be exceptional for us. It would be absolutely exceptional. The wages, I don't think will be an issue either. We could probably, what are his current wages? I don't know what his current wages are. Someone said they're 68k. Even if they were let's call it 70k, right? You could even double his wages and give him 140, and he's still within the wage structure. You could even double those wages, but that's 68,000 euros, about 60k. So you could even give him double those wages, right? And give him about 120,000 pounds. That wouldn't be bad, would it? You know, this makes sense. This has to be done. We've got Champions League football on offer, an opportunity to play in the Premier League, and a significant upgrade on all current options that we have in the squad. And this is well within our price range. Well within our price range. I mean, this is exceptional. You know, I used to pray for times like this, getting a serious goalkeeper. Used to pray for these times. And it looks like we are going to act upon that interest, guys. We're going to act upon that interest. We've made an approach. Whether that approach comes to anything, whether we can agree or deal or not. But for me personally, if Maignan's open to the move, I don't see any issue whatsoever as to why we could not agree a deal. Why wouldn't we be able to agree a deal? Yeah, we were linked with... I think we were linked with him the summer under Pochettino. There were links with him. You know, that summer when we were strongly linked with Andre Onana, we were also linked with Mike Maignan, but it didn't quite happen. I think the interest in Maignan has been there. It's been there for a while. I think that Chelsea have been following Maignan for a number of years now. And Matt Law has... Bro, 29's not old for a goalkeeper, though. 29's not old for a goalkeeper. It really isn't. It really isn't that old for a goalkeeper, 29. So, yeah. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. But we go for a bit more news on Maignan from Matt Law. That's calling Mike Law then. Chelsea have also made a check on Maignan that could signal the summer sale of Robert Sanchez. Oh, so good. Reading those words, the summer sale of Robert Sanchez. Is there a more joyous sentence as a Chelsea fan? Those 6 words bring me so much joy. Although it needs to happen, and it's not happened yet, but just reading it, the summer sale of Robert Sanchez. We dreamed of times like these, chat. We dreamed of times like these. We dreamed of these times. Honestly, what a sentence. It's not happened yet, Maignan only has a year left on his contract with AC Milan, and Chelsea have made inquiries to find out the conditions of his possible signing. No offer yet. Bro, I'll give him Sanchez praise for when he's played well, but overall, he's nowhere near good enough for Chelsea, and he's a liability. Whatever he does, good, is outweighed by the fact that he will always make mistakes. He will always make mistakes, and that's never going to change. He's not good enough. Maignan's 29. I mean, we could even just chuck in Sanchez to AC Milan as part of the deal. Just take him. Just take him. Well, Kepa's long gone anyway. Long gone. Yeah, you get Mike Maignan and you get Mark Guehi in. It'll be fantastic. Yeah, good sentence. It is a good sentence, guys. But until it happens, we can't fully celebrate. But this means we are looking serious. Bro, can people stop mentioning Bastoni? This happens all the time, right? And Bastoni is simply not joining Chelsea. I don't know why people keep mentioning Bastoni and Chelsea in the same sentence. It's not happening. It's not happening. It just isn't happening. It's not happening. But the keeper situation is, bro, we're not close with any centre-back options. We're not really close with any centre-back options. We are going to move on to centre-backs once we've done this. Nah, Sarr's not the centre-back signing. Sarr isn't the centre-back signing. He's not. He absolutely isn't the centre-back signing. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. Again, Hato is not a centre-back. He can play as a centre-back, but he's not a centre-back. He is a left-back who can play at centre-back. Two very different things there. Very different things. But Hato would be back up to Cucurella, which is important. But a new goalkeeper, massive. Absolutely massive. So we're so desperate for it. And we are obviously looking for a new number one. So all those briefings about, we're going to assess our current options and whatnot, maybe it was BS, or maybe it was, do you know what, we've already done that. We've already done that. So we're now going to, we've now decided that none of our goalkeepers we've got are good enough. And what's mental, right, is that if we do sign Maignan, we are going to be, how many goalkeepers would that be? That would be Sanchez and Petrovic in the summer of 2023, Jorgensen and Penders in the summer of 2024, and Maignan in the summer of 2025. How mental is this, right? If we sign Maignan, that's 5 goalkeepers signed across the last 3 summer windows. 5 goalkeepers we've signed across the last 3 summer windows. Sanchez, Petrovic, Jorgensen, Penders, and then Maignan. So we've signed 2 goalkeepers in 2023, 2 goalkeepers in the summer of 2024, and it looks like we're going to sign another goalkeeper in the summer of 2025. We just have to hope that this guy is going to be right. We just have to hope this guy is going to be right, because we cannot be having a situation where we get the fucking goalkeeper, the Club World Cup lineup. Yeah, that was confirmed ages ago. The whole schedule's out. Chelsea's first game is June 16th against LAFC, reunited with Olivier Giroud. Slanina's not got any future at Chelsea at all. No, and one thing I will praise the club for is that we're prepared to move on from shit investments very, very quickly. We're prepared to move on from shit investments very, very quickly. If someone's not right, we move. If someone's not right, we just move and we get on with it. You just forget it and you move on to someone different. That's the good thing, chat. That is the good thing. But now we've got to find a suitor for Robert Sanchez. Maignan, 37 games last season. Yeah, he could well be, and I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea sold George this summer. But I would probably expect him to to go on loan. I would expect him to go on loan. Well, I wouldn't say it was injury prone, but he has had a few injury issues over the past couple of seasons. And yeah, for sure, his form has not been as good. His form's not been as good. Well, that would be great, wouldn't it? Look, I wouldn't mind seeing Penders. It would be nice to see Petrovic again. Maybe we get Maignan in. I mean, Chelsea weren't lying when they said they were going to be busy before the Club World Cup. They weren't lying. They absolutely weren't lying. So we are looking pretty busy. Guys, we are 18 subscribers away from 16.5K. Please keep smashing that subscribe button. We're 375 in the building. There must be 18 of you who aren't subscribed. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Road to 20K. Smash the likes up as well. We're on 132, almost 400 in here. Get this up to 200 likes, chat. And big up to everyone who's locked in. Greatly appreciate it. And yeah, this is the place to be for all the summer transfer news. People that have been following the channel for a while and part of the community know this is the place to be. We're here every single day going through all the latest news. So run it up, smash the like, subscribe. And let me know when we're on 200, chat. No idea. Hopefully it's not the number 9. Yeah, look, I would be on board with that. But the reality is that having been number 1 for a season, Petrovic is not going to come back and be a 2. Petrovic is good enough to go and be a number 1 somewhere. Chelsea can get money for him. So, yeah, you know, ultimately, it's going to be, he's going to look at it and think, do you know what? Yeah, I'm good enough to be a number 1 somewhere. I'm going to go and be a number 1. So, yeah. There we go. Yeah, 19's free now. Just give him the same number at Ipswich. Give him that 19 number. Diego Costa shirt number as well. Give him the number 19. Very, very simple. Give him that 19 and we move. And we move. There's a bit more information on the goalkeepers. Let me just have a quick look what's come through. There's something else on goalkeepers. Let me just quickly check. Where the fuck's that gone? Right, here we go. Chelsea insiders have long said they are well stocked with talented goalkeepers. None are currently shoo-ins to be number 1. And Mike Maignan represents an opportunity for an upgrade from Kieran Gill. He absolutely does. Mudryk is back. Well, he's not back. He's not back. He's not back. Look, I'd love him to be back at some point, but we've got fuck knows what's happening with that. No, Mudryk's not back. Nah, bro, I think we will. I think we will actually sign a striker. But anyway, what I don't understand is, right, is Chelsea think they've got loads of talented goalkeepers, right? So if we think we've got loads of talented goalkeepers, how come there's not a single one who's a shoo-in to be number 1? If we've got all those talented goalkeepers, why are none of them a shoo-in to be number 1? That's what I don't understand. You've signed all these goalkeepers. How, like, I don't get it. You've signed all these keepers, but none of them are a shoo-in to be number 1. It literally makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. I mean, what's going on here? Like, how can you sign all these keepers? It doesn't make sense. Well, yeah, it appears so, bro. It appears so. I've got absolutely no idea. I don't know what terms are in the contract. I don't know any of that. No, I agree with but Penders is not ready. Penders is 19. Penders absolutely isn't ready. Penders is seen as the only talent, I think, to be honest. Maignan would be ideal because it gives Penders time to develop. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, look, we've already got a Sugu, Santos, and Esteval arriving, pre-signed. And if you added Gittins and Maignan, I mean, look, the squad's going to, I think the squad is probably going to look very different next season as well. I still think it's going to look very, very different. Very, very different. Yeah, I think the ter Stegen wages would be an issue. They'd be very, very off-putting, for sure. Maresca's not the one in charge of transfers. He absolutely has a say, and quite a big say. Bowley has got nothing to do with transfers whatsoever. It's the sporting directors of Maresca. Maresca has got an input into transfers, but yeah, it's the sporting directors, Maresca, that make those decisions. Yeah, we do need a lot of outgoings. We need a lot of outgoings. Yeah, bro, that's not going to happen, though. The whole point, Martin left because he didn't want to be a backup left back. He's not going to suddenly come back and be a backup left back, is he? Possibly. I mean, signed for £14 million, exceptional season at Strasbourg, Strasbourg player of the season. So, yeah, you know, it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It kind of makes sense that he's going to be that guy to leave. Well, to leave. I mean, I would have personally given him another go, but ultimately, yeah, I would have given him another go this season. But ultimately, if you're getting Maignan and you can flip Petrovic for double the money, then why not? Then why not? Is what I would say. All I'm hearing is at the moment is Hato, and I'm not really hearing anything else from anyone. Yep, we'll do that as well. We'll do that as well. Yeah, but Frankfurt are very good at selling players. Kolo Muani, Marmouche, Jovic. Who else have they sold? Yeah, but I think the ter Stegen wages would be too big. I think horrific's a bit strong. Obviously not as good in the last couple of seasons, but still very, very decent. Still very, very decent, and a huge upgrade on what we have. Huge upgrade on what we have. But anyway, let's move away from keepers. Let's keep an eye on that Mike Maignan situation, because that's massive if we can get Magic Mike through the door. If we can get Magic Mike through the door, then it'll be absolutely huge. It'll be absolutely huge. But let's go with this Ekitike. Let's go with this Ekitike stuff, because from The Athletic, and then we'll get into the Matt Law stuff on Ekitike. So The Athletic was saying, Chelsea have now made a formal inquiry for Hugo Ekitike. However, they're not prepared to meet Frankfurt's £84.3 million valuation. Well, I'm not surprised at all that we're not prepared to meet that valuation. Not surprised at all that we're not prepared to meet that valuation. Not surprised at all. Well, Osimhen was never happening, and at the moment, no one really seems to be that interested in Gyökeres, which is a strange one. But we'll get onto the other strikers in a bit. Let's just do this first. So we've made a formal inquiry. He's too expensive. As we know, there is a broad agreement on personal terms with Ekitike. There's in meetings with his agent and whatnot. His agent's trying to get the price down. Ekitike, I'm not against Ekitike, but I'm absolutely against Ekitike at that price, because that price is a madness. That price is an absolute madness. There's no way should we be paying anywhere near that amount of money for him. Anywhere near that amount of money for him. So, yeah, that should not be happening. So we made a formal inquiry, broad agreement of for personal terms. Agents trying to get the price down. I don't know how successful that's going to be. However, what we do have from Matt Law which is interesting here. Let me just bring this up now. Chelsea expect Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson to compete for the out-and-out striker position, with Hugo Ekitike or another versatile forward providing a further option from deep or a wide position. So maybe it looks like we could have all three. Maybe it looks like it's a possibility we could have all three. But I don't get why you would spend, even if you got the price down to £70 million, right? Even if you got the price down to 70 M's, why would you spend 70 million on Ekitike to play him wide? Does that make sense? Would Ekitike be an Nkunku replacement? I don't know, but then I'd look at someone like Xavi Simons, Morgan Rogers, Eze, these kind of players. I would see them as more of a Christopher Nkunku replacement in the squad. So what is it? I mean, it does sound like maybe Ekitike off the left. Let me just have a look at where Ekitike has played the majority of his games this season for Frankfurt. Let's see where he's played the majority of his games. So Ekitike's return, 15 goals and 8 assists. So that is what? 15 and 5, 20. So 23 GA in 33 appearances in the Bundesliga, 7 GA in 12 Europa League appearances, and 4 GA in 3 German Cup appearances. The thing is, though, Ekitike hasn't once played wide for Frankfurt this season. 48 appearances, whereas a centre. So he had 44 appearances at centre forward and 2 as a second striker. He's played down the middle this entire season. So why would we sign him to play him in a wide position or a different option from deep? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, particularly at that amount of money. It doesn't make sense. I don't think Jackson is going to be sold, and I don't think Jackson is going to be moved to the left-hand side either. People keep saying, "Oh, Jackson's going to be moved to the left." It's a possibility, but I don't see that happening at all. I don't see that happening at all. Nicholas Jackson being shunted out to the left-hand side. I personally don't see it. Would we pay 70 million to play a centre forward as a winger? I don't know. Sure, okay, but ultimately he has started as a centre forward. You're not going to spend 70 odd million pounds on a centre forward and then stick him on the left. Why would you do that? Can someone please tell me why you do that? It doesn't make any sense to do that. You know, yes, okay, linked up well with Marmoush and he played as a second striker, and that Marmoush Ekitike thing was good. But yeah, it's not making sense to me. It's not making sense to me. That's all I'd say. It's not making sense. Yeah, look, I think an Eze or if you're looking for a versatile forward that can come from deep or a wide position, why are you looking at Ekitike? Why wouldn't you look at Eze or Rogers? You know, someone who's more of a versatile forward. You know, I don't understand it. Look, maybe we're going to make tactical changes next season. I don't know, but if Chelsea obviously got strong interest in Ekitike, it's going to be a big fee. Even if they get that fee down, you're still looking at 65, 70 million at least. You're gonna want him to stay. You're gonna want him to stay. Sorry, you're gonna want him to play down the middle. No? I don't understand it. Starting to look like a promising window of these kind of players we're approaching. I mean, look, it could be looking promising, but again, there's a long way to go from approach to actually getting them through the door. Maybe, yeah. Look, for sure. Maybe there's a possibility if Ekitike does come through the door, it gives you a chance to start Ekitike down the middle and play Jackson off the left. Maybe that's something we might look at doing. I don't know. I'm really unsure. But it's great to see us targeting top players like Maignan. I just don't really see why Ekitike, if you're looking for a player to give you a different forward option from deep or wide, I wouldn't be looking at Ekitike. I'd be looking at, as I said, Rodgers or Eze, for example. Eze would cost you less than Ekitike and would be better. Yes, Eze's 26 going on 27, but he would be offering you something better. He would absolutely be offering you something better. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, the wide areas, but there's going to be a lot of movement there because now we basically need two wingers. With Sancho's gone, we need two. We need two. Yeah, look, I'm not ruling it out, but I just think the price of Ekitike is too high. Two is too high. But it's been a formal approach. We know there's an agreement on personal terms, broadly speaking. And the only issue is the price. The only issue is the price. But then again, even if Ekitike comes in a wide area, right? If Ekitike comes and plays in a wide area, then you're also looking at it. There was something about Madueke. I think it was it CFC Daily? It might have been CFC Daily. Let's have a quick look. Let me just find it, chat. Hold on. We'll just go with this account, whatever this account is. I don't know who this is, but we'll just bring this up. So Chelsea anticipate interest in Noni Madueke, for whom, while not for sale, they would listen to offers. So look, Madueke not technically for sale, but if decent offers came in, then they'd obviously be entertaining them. They'd obviously maybe accept an offer. Maybe they'd accept an offer. I don't know what sort of offer they'd accept. I personally don't believe that Madueke wants to leave Chelsea. And even if an offer was accepted, it doesn't really mean anything, though, because the players got to move. I mean, the money's look. Sure, Newcastle, bro. Chelsea wouldn't take 40 million. It'll take 50 million plus to get him. Absolutely, it will take 50 million plus to get Madueke. And even then, it's still down to the player. It's still down to the player if he wants to go. Clubs can accept a bid. It means fuck all. It means absolutely fuck all. It means nothing. It means nothing, chat, if a fee's agreed. Because unless the player agrees to the move, then agreeing terms and whatnot is useless. Complete and utter waste of time and doesn't mean anything. Does not mean anything at all. I don't think he's going to be leaving. He's just had his best season at Chelsea. Whether you think that best is good enough is a separate conversation, but these are the facts here. He's just had his best season at Chelsea. He's been our most productive winger. Enzo Maresca likes him. He started pretty much 3/4 of the games this season. Unless he wants out, then I'm not sensing that, and there's nothing saying that, then I find it very difficult to see how Noni Madueke leaves this summer. I find it very difficult to believe how Madueke leaves this summer. You know, and he's improved this season. He's absolutely improved this season. By the way, chat, we're 18 likes away from 200 likes. Keep smashing the like button. Over 300 in the building still. Run it up. Run it up. Are we close to 16.5? Yes, we are. 10 more subscribers to go, chat. Smash the likes and subscribe. Final 10 subscribers to 16.5. Let's get it. Let's get it, chat. Run these likes up. Tell me when it's on 200, and someone tell me when we're on 16.5K. If he's leaving, we need a replacement. Absolutely, we do. But I don't understand this Madueke selfish narrative. I personally don't get it. I personally don't get the Madueke selfish narrative. I don't understand. Bro, you obviously don't watch football then, because if you're saying he's not improved, that's utter nonsense. He's way better than he was last season. He has improved this season. He's at his best season at Chelsea, so he's obviously improved. How can you say he hasn't improved? It's just garbage. Like, that is complete bollocks to say that he's not improved. If you don't like him, that's fine. But to say he's not improved is nonsense. To say that he's not improved is nonsense. So if he's shit, right? If he's shit like you say he is Pedro Neto shit? Ask me if Neto's shit. Because Madueke was our best winger last season. This season just gone. He was our best winger. He was our best winger this season. So what does that say about the rest of the wingers? Sure, okay, that's a different conversation. But to say he's not improved is just lies. Utter lies to say he's not improved. Bro, Neto has not been that good this season. Neto's not had a great season. Hasn't had a great season, Neto. Again, just nonsense. Utter nonsense. Yeah, exactly. These are guys that are saying that Felix should be in the team and not. It's bullshit. Are we really doing this? Is this what we're doing? I mean, seriously, I do wonder what people are watching sometimes. I really do wonder what they're saying. What they're seeing. Oh, right, okay. So because Neto doesn't score goals, we can't compare. So we can't compare two wingers. That's interesting. You know, look, I'm not saying that Madueke is some sort of world beater, but it's just not. It's just simply untrue to say that he hasn't improved. That just isn't true. Simply not true. You don't have to like Madueke. You can say he's not improved enough, but to say that he's not improved from the previous season is bullshit. It's just not true. What's this? What's this Simon Phillips tweet? Let's have a quick look at that. Let me just bring this up now, guys. Oh, course we have. Course we have. As well as asking about Milan about signing Maignan, Chelsea have also inquired about Burnley's James Trafford. There it is, guys. As this person said, there's the Chelsea I know. There's the Chelsea I know. Burnley's James Trafford. Guess where James Trafford came through? Guess which club James Trafford came through at? Manchester City Academy. Manchester City Academy, James Trafford. Of course we've inquired about James Trafford. City Academy. Of course we've inquired. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But yeah, look, who knows whether that's true or not? I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if James Trafford, there was interest there. I know Newcastle want him. But look, I'd like to think that we would go for Maignan. And there's obviously interest in Maignan because we've made that approach. But yeah, James Trafford, that's looking a bit techie if that happens. Yeah. That's looking a bit techie if that happens. But is our scouting literally just fucking James Trafford? Like literally anyone that's played for Man City? Anyone that's played for Man City, as long as you've got Man City on your CV somewhere, then you've got a chance of signing for Chelsea. You've got a chance of signing for Chelsea. I hope that Maignan comes. I really do hope that we're actually serious and we go for it. But imagine making the approach for Maignan and then finding out, fuck, we're going to sign James Trafford instead. Surely not. I mean, surely we're not going to sign James Trafford. Fuck me. But look, let's just hope Maignan happens. Let's not think about. Let's not think about this. Let's not think about this. But yeah, it can't be ruled out. It can't be ruled out. Anyway, yeah. So have loads of players. Doesn't mean they're good. Last time Trafford was in the Prem, he got dropped and replaced by Muric at Burnley. But anyway, wide players, and there's an update from Ben Jacobs, an exclusive on Nico Williams. Nico Williams has begun initial talks to renew his Bilbao contract. Parties discussing a salary pushing 10 million euros and release clause could increase should a deal be agreed. Not yet a guarantee. Suitors like Arsenal and Chelsea see value in Williams' current 58 million euro clause, and he remains on their radar. But overall cost of the transfer, wage and agent fees make it expensive. Bilbao hope they can tie Williams down before any offers arrive. I mean, is it ridiculous to say that Nico Williams is the Spanish Wilfried Zaha, always linked with a move away, but never moves, and then goes somewhere shite? Is that what we're saying? A Spanish Wilfried Zaha? Is he a Spanish Wilfried Zaha, chat? Because this guy's linked with a move every single summer, and a move never happens. Every summer we hear Nico Williams. Every summer we hear it. Oh, he's going to move. He's going to move, and he never moves. He never moves. Spanish Wilfried Zaha. I mean, look, keep mentioning Chelsea's name with Nico Williams. If Chelsea were going to make a move for Nico Williams, surely we would have already done it. We would have already done it. Chat, we're 4 likes away from 200. Smash the like button. Let's get this moving, people. Let's get this moving. We're 4 likes away from the 200. 4 likes away from the 200. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. 4 likes away from the 200, chat. But that's Spanish Wilfried Zaha. I just don't know who's going to pay the wages. I mean, how much is 10 million euros in pounds? Let's have a quick look. 10 million euros in GBP. So that's 8.4 million a season. So it's about 8.5 million a season. 8.5 million pounds a season. Is that ridiculous? I mean, that's quite a lot if we're being real. That is quite a lot. About 8.5 mil. That is a lot. 170. If you could get Nico Williams for 170, is that terrible? I don't think that's terrible, but surely there's no way you're getting Nico Williams for 170. No chance. Again, someone in the chat saying Bayern Munich could be a good chance. It could be a good shout because, yeah, Koeman and Sane probably leaving. They've missed out on Florian Wirtz. There's money to spend. Maybe Nico Williams will be a target for Bayern Munich. Maybe a target for Bayern Munich. I just don't think we're going to end up with Nico Williams. I just don't see it. No, absolutely not. He obviously wasn't our best winger. No, he clearly wasn't. Why don't Chelsea try and sign Lookman? Because clearly doesn't fit what the club are looking for. I would say clearly doesn't fit what the club are looking for. That'll be why we're not looking at Lookman, because it just doesn't suit what we're looking for at the end of the day. But Lookman is a good player. I agree. But yeah, it looks like Nico Williams could sign a new deal at Bilbao, increase that release clause, makes it more difficult. Look, you can talk about Chelsea all day long with Nico Williams. Fact is, if we thought a move was viable and doable, we would have done it, in my opinion. We would have done it. So really, it's just nonsense to me, really, to see Chelsea and Nico Williams in the same sentence. Just seems stupid. Just seems completely and utterly pointless because we're never paying the money. We're never, ever paying the money. So, bro, Williams is 22. I don't think Williams has peaked. He was very good at the Euros. Last season, not so good. There's a talented player there. There's absolutely a talented player there, for sure. But yeah, looks like he could be extending his contract at Bilbao. Bit of a pay rise, maybe. Higher release clause. But yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it whatsoever. We're on Vince McMahon no chance settings. Vince McMahon no chance settings on that one. You know. But it would be, I mean, it would be great. I wouldn't be against it. I mean, I can't believe how much news we've had today. Honestly, can't believe it, chap. Like the amount of news this morning into this afternoon is mental, absolutely mental. Now, I think Kingsley Coman's done. He's done. He's way too injury prone. He's not really performed to a level for a while. He's not really performed to a level for a while. You know, he's not going to be. He's not going to be covering it for a while. But yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah. What we're going to move into now? I forgot centre backs and this Jared Branthwaite news. Let me just find this Branthwaite news. Hold on. Where's this Branthwaite news? Right, let me bring this up now. Chelsea are not considering Jared Branthwaite right now. Now, I think that's basically, in my opinion, briefing against any possible rejection. That's the reality here. They're just briefing against rejection. Because they're never going to come out and say he's rejected them. Then they're simply not going to say that. We know that Chelsea have had conversations with Branthwaite. We know that's the case. We know that's the case. But apparently Chelsea have been quoted 80 million. 80 million. But Chelsea have, made an inquiry and they were told 80 million pounds. We've held talks, but I think the only way this happens is if Branthwaite pushes for a move. But 80 million pounds have been quoted for Jared Branthwaite is mental. Absolutely not gonna be paying anywhere near that money. I to be honest, look, I like Branthwaite. I think he's a good defender, but I personally don't see the hype around it. I don't see the hype. What is it that's so good about Branthwaite? Yeah, sure, William Pacho's better. We're not signing Pacho, are we, from PSG? We're simply not. And Pacho is another player from Frankfurt, another one. Another one from Frankfurt. But yeah, look, Branthwaite's obviously a target. We clearly like Jared Branthwaite, but this is a player who, unless he pushes for a move, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. And it's just not going to happen. Very, very simple. I don't know who we're going to sign at centre-back, by the way, because unless Branthwaite pushes for a move, we're not getting him, or the price comes down, which I don't think it will. We've not really been linked with anyone else. Hato's a left-back. Gurhi's the one that makes the most sense, but things haven't moved particularly quickly on him. I really wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being, a signing like out of nowhere signing. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was if it was a signing out of nowhere. Really wouldn't be surprised. You know, just a random signing that we weren't expecting. There's not been any links to. Gerhi absolutely makes the most sense. No denying that. Gerhi, again, last year of his contract as well, ticks more boxes. I mean, who is Branthwaite actually better than? Is he better than Colwell? Is he better than Fofana? Those are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves. And is he significantly better than either of them? That's the big question. Maybe it could be a Thomas Araujo. Maybe it could be a Thomas Araujo. We've got Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg. It's not been ruled out that he could be loaned back to Strasbourg. That hasn't been ruled out. Hasn't been ruled out at all. Chat, we're 5 subscribers away from 16 and a half. There must be 5 in the building who aren't subscribed. Make sure you're smashing that subscribe button and keep running the likes up. Let's get this to 16.5k people. Right, okay. Like the Neto. Yeah, maybe like the Neto signing. Yeah, bro, everyone keeps talking about Bastoni. It's not happening. What? I don't know why people keep mentioning Bastoni all the time. Chelsea are not signing Bastoni. Not signing Bastoni. Very simple. Very, very simple. Maybe. No, bro, Bastoni's not an option. Why are we making stuff up? Bastoni's not an option. And Kabasi's not an option either. In what world is Kabasi leaving Barcelona to join Chelsea? I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's not be stupid here. Let's not be stupid here. Yeah, bro, that's not going to happen. And Botman's not going to happen either. We've been linked with Carlos Lequeiva before. He's going to be way too expensive. No, it doesn't mean that at all. Why do people make stuff up? Why are we making stuff up, guys? Inzaghi could well leave Inter. Yes, the offer from Al Hilal's on the table. We know that. He's on a meeting with Inter Milan today to discuss his future. In what world does Inzaghi leaving mean that Bastoni's available? Why are we making stuff up? Why are we making stuff up, chat? Come on. We're better than that. Inzaghi could well leave Inter Milan. Absolutely, he could be joining Al Hilal. No doubt about it. But just because if Inzaghi leaves, that doesn't suddenly mean, by the way, that, oh, that means that Bastoni's leaving as well, or that Bastoni's available. It doesn't mean that. But the centre-back situation is an interesting one. I don't really know what's going to happen at centre-back. I don't know what's going to happen at centre-back. Fuck knows. I'd be surprised if a centre-back came in before the summer window. Before the Club World Cup. I think a winger will arrive before the Club World Cup. I don't think a goalkeeper will, but I think a winger will arrive before the Club World Cup. And then centre-back and goalkeeper maybe during or after. That's the way that I see it. But Mark Gerhi is absolutely the signing that makes the most sense. Makes the most sense. No idea. I think maybe 2 of those 3 will go. At least one of those 3 will go. Yeah, Zabani's another player. I like Zabani as well, but yeah, he's someone that probably I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with him either. I'm unsure. Gittins, I think that's likely to happen. I think that will happen. We're in talks. If we can get the price down to what we want, then no problem. But yeah, I think that's going to be one that happens. I think that will eventually happen. Bro, because I think Gurhey would be the best signing at centre back for Chelsea. You know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. There was breaking news from Top Skills. I mean, I've never heard of Top Skills before. Don't know how reliable that is. 70 million for Branthwaite, no doubt. Latest on Ekitike is that Chelsea made a formal approach, but the price is still too high. So we move from there. Oh no, absolutely not. I think that's totally untrue. Personally, it's not been reported anywhere else from anyone. So yeah, I don't see that happening. But yeah, the centre back situation, that's going to be a long, drawn out process. I don't see anything. Well, I don't see it. But Branthwaite, unless he forces the move, is not happening. Way too expensive. Gurhey. I mean, look, if Chelsea wanted Mark Gurhey, right? Surely we could have done a deal. A deal could be done. A deal would be done by now. If Chelsea wanted Mark Gurhey, that deal could have been wrapped up by now. Surely. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but surely we could have wrapped up a deal for Mark Gurhey by now if we wanted to. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on it. I think we could have wrapped up a deal for Gurhey by now. But yeah, I think the most important thing is to get a winger in. We've got a striker in. Maybe get one more in. Centre back is not critical. It's not critical right now. No, we shouldn't get him. And is DeMarco available? No, Ekitike is not done. I wouldn't rule out a move for Ekitike at all. That's definitely still a possibility. Definitely still a possibility to go for Ekitike. Definitely still a possibility. Bro, Palace are not asking for 80 million for Gurhey. They wanted 70 million last summer. They didn't get it. Okay. They're not going to get 70 million this summer because he's got 1 year left on his deal. They could probably get 50 million from us tops. Not out of the question, but I would sense it would be unlikely. You know, Sancho wasn't prepared to fit the wage structure. So unless he changes his mind, I don't see that happening. Don't see it happening. Literally makes no sense. You know, they couldn't agree on the wages. Why would they suddenly agree on the wages? Why would they not agree and then suddenly, oh, by the way, they just come running back and agree? Yeah, and I suspect he'll probably go back on loan again. Maybe. I'm not sure. Yep. Again, Thomas Araujo. It could possibly be him. It could be Thomas Araujo. I don't know for certain, chat. I don't know for certain. But what I do know is that I don't think a centre back will be signed in time for the Club World Cup. That's what I do know. I don't envisage a centre back being signed for the Club World Cup. I think a winger will be, but we'll see. We will see. No, Gittins will be done this week. I think Gittins will be done this week. I think that's quite a straightforward deal to do. I don't know who Thomas Araujo's agent is. No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I don't think that's definitely a thing. I don't think that's definitely a thing. Yeah, Bayern have watched Gittins. I mean, look, maybe Bayern going for Gittins. Who knows? But I'd expect Chelsea to get a job done on Gittins. Yeah, really important. Really important. So many players need to be moved on. We need to be selling at least 8, 9, 10 players. You know, the fire sale needs to begin. The fire sale needs to begin. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one for sure. Yeah, maybe he would. Yeah, the model is modeling. No, absolutely not. No chance at all. No chance at all. But yeah, it's look, it's going to be a busy week, really busy week, a lot going on, and expect plenty of news. Expect plenty of news in regards to transfers and Chelsea. We've had so much news today. Jadon Sancho is left Chelsea. Chelsea have made an approach for Mike Maignan. Latest on Jared Branthwaite and things like that. You know, so much going on. Loads and loads covered in today's show chat. Great show, as always. Yeah, true. Absolutely true. Reported by Fabrizio. Absolutely true. Yeah, we're not going to see that. Unfortunately, he's joining after the Club World Cup. But yeah, it's been a big day on the news front for Chelsea. Big day. So yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's just check to make sure there isn't any further updates coming in from anywhere, and then we will move from there. There's a quick scroll down. Don't think there's anything going on. Not been decided yet. Not been decided yet. Chelsea won him at the Club World Cup, but obviously the decision will be delapsed, I would have thought. But Chelsea do want him at the Club World Cup. Yeah, the day is still young. Who knows what more we could get today? Who knows? But yeah, guys, I'm going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone who's tuned in. Greatly appreciate all the support. Thank you so much, guys. The shows are nothing without you, as I always say. Big up to everyone. What a mad day. What a mad day so far. Guys, I might be back later if there's more news. Might be back later on if we get any more bombers. But yeah, chat. Make sure you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in as always. And it's always madness with Chelsea. Always madness. Expect the unexpected in the transfer window. Big love. Smash the likes on the way out. Please hit the subscribe button as well. I think we are, how many away from 16.5 are we? Yes, we're 2 away. 2 more subscribers. So 2 of you people, please smash the subscribe button. Get to the 16.5. Run the likes up. Never a dull day. I'll catch you lot tomorrow if I don't catch you later on. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.